Hello. Hey. I'm almost 5 minutes late. I'm 4 minutes late. I am here, but so are you. Hello, everyone. I am so excited to see everyone. My name is Chris Farrow. Welcome to my YouTube. I'm fresh faced. It's Thursday. It's 11:04. Hi. Um, and here we are talking about 90 Day Fiancé. I always slur it. I'm always just like, anyone who just starts watching these videos are like, this drunk girl talks about what? 90 Day Fiancé, season 9, episode 15. 90 Day Fiancé, 90 Day Fiancé, 90 Day Fiancé, 90 Day Fiancé, 90 Day Fiancé. Why is it hard to say? Listen, I'm not drunk. I don't worry about it. It's very early in the morning. I mean, not really, but And I'm drinking coffee. I actually really like these morning lives. It makes me feel like I am up and we're all fresh faced and fresh minded for each other. Hi, my friends. Yay. Hello. I see Diana. Aaliyah? 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 I think it's Aaliyah, like Aaliyah. Jessica, Vanessa, Amsterdam, and Mickey and Leah. Hi, Chantel. Hi, AK. It's really lovely to see everyone. I'm so happy and pumped people are here. Hello. Hey. Yes. Okay, my love. So, yeah, but we're going to get into this, and we have a great episode because now the season's like interesting. But as I wanted to bring up, obviously, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to be contending with gardeners right now. There's gardeners outside. So, whatever. Fresh minded. I'm running on fumes. Fumes minded. So that might also be happening if you hear them gardeners. So that. Also B, thank you so much, obviously, for liking this video, subscribing, and being here and just engaging with me in your commentary. If you haven't yet heard, just call me Wah, and I have been talking about, have been talking about the fact that we created a podcast, and it's really exciting. We're very into it, and we are trying to deliver fresh new content and using different mediums, and so it's been really exciting. So having said that, if you want more of me and more of Wah, and you should, there's a lot of it for you right now. So podcast wise, we have Docu-Sweeties, which already has 6 episodes out. We are following the Love in Paradise season 2 that's happening right now and being dropped on Fridays on Discovery Plus. So Love in Paradise, the Caribbean, is basically like a shorter version of 90 Day Fiancé, where they're all kind of like vacation bays. Okay. So having said that, it's already up for you. So if that's exciting to you, if you did not know that, please go wherever you listen to podcasts right now. At least one episode's on Google, but all the other episodes are on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, where we have the Love in Paradise season 2 that we're following. And then we're looking to do what we have next up for you, which will probably be some sort of bingeable style Netflix or Hulu or Amazon documentary kind of thing. We want to be able to toggle between kind of those, still deliver commentary on relationships, characters, and how it affects us or whatever. So that is happening. Now, that's all free, right? The podcast is free. If you want even more, or you like looking at us or whatever, we also have put even more content on a Patreon. So if you're not a podcast person, but maybe you're a Patreon person, you can give us $10 a month if you'd like. You don't have to. But the $10 a month would give you access to the video of us recording our podcast, as well as some extra lives, some extra videos of content. So that's all there is about those things. This is my Nespresso. We have, like I said, to talk about 90 Day Fiancé, which is season 9. This was episode 15. And, that's what I have to say about that. Now, let's get into the couple that, listen, had a great segment, but the most boring couple of all time, but God, they're so gorgeous. Cara and Guillermo. So, listen, what we can talk about with this segment is how beautiful they are. Nothing else is, it's like, I don't understand how they made it on the show. It truly feels like, did they just have another couple that was problematic in some way? They found out some information and thusly had to cut a whole couple out and then just add what looks like two models or two actors that they like cast. Okay. So again, they are boring, but the one thing that we get to see from this is the style that they have brought. Now, I have really enjoyed Kara's specific style the entire time, which is this, sometimes it's a very down to earth, casual, but like thought about and detail oriented style that also goes in between that and something that's classic and or old Hollywood. So let me tell you. So, the drama, if there is anything, is basically like being like, will they show up and do it? Which of course they were. Yes, the answer is yes. Yes, of course. But anyway, Guillermo is gorgeous and talks to his mom, is going to FaceTime for his mom. Like he wears this like kind of salmon color, beautiful suit. Like he looked kind of casual and easy, but also refined. I mean, I want to tell you, he just is so handsome. And his mom, got to see him get married, which is great. He wrote his own lyrics. He wrote his own vows. Now let's go to Cara. Now Cara did this kind of classic, it feels like a 50s, 60s kind of like French silhouette, like maybe like a Dior style silhouette, like small bodice with like a little like apron-y type collar and fitted down. And then what she did is big curl hairs. And she has short hair. So it's like a big kind of 50s wave thing that was created for her. It was a whole look. And it was specifically a very bridal look. And I get why she did it, though I understand the hair was a specific choice. But I think I don't like Kara's hair at all. No, you're not the only one. See, here's what I think, though. I want you to both to think something. She has really short hair, which is great, right? But like when you think of styling for weddings, her options are to curl it, which is what we saw, and she does smaller hair, barrel curls, and they really did like a like swoop up, like they're doing everything. I think that, and she had very I think also tasteful makeup. I think her makeup was good. I think their hair is just a hard thing to do for weddings. Having said that, I'm going to tell you that I hate doing my hair. Like I hate it. Like I don't understand hairstyles. Like truly it makes no sense to me. Like how people do those kind of things. It feels like so much work. Like you are just teasing, you're ruining your hair. Like you like tease it, right? Like curl it into big curling iron. Then you tease it, and you're like hairspraying it to try to like swoosh it down here and then like pin this up, and I mean, for someone like me who has long hair, and it's not necessarily my hair is super thick, it's like most people would have to wear fake hair to even get like the volume and the size they want for these big ass things. It's like, so these like big hairstyles I've never understood, but I get that they are quote unquote elegant and or nighttime and or whatever you want to say, fancy ass hairdos. I, for some reason, don't understand them. Like and this is just me, I wish I understood better ways to do hair for evening and or glam and or whatever super nice events. It's like a whole other thing. I couldn't possibly. That's crazy. Like unless you really just curl your hair and make it so it's not like, or straighten it so it's not like frizzy or like weird things coming out. Like I don't know what the hell anyone does with their hair. Okay, but Karen decided to do this. Her makeup very minimal. But like, like It'd be interesting to see what those eyes would look like with like an extended cat eye or something, like just to see. But um, we really get like a modest eyeliner. So now here's the other thing. They get married like she says it, and I'm so sorry. What did she say? It was like, I want to say it's like the back of like a counter restaurant, like some sort of museum or something. This is what ends up happening. They are in a room that has a wall, okay? So like it's somewhat separated from this other area that anyone could be at. And by anyone, I mean people just sitting at the counter willy-nilly. Now, when they're recording this for TV, I'm talking about like the nuptials, we see a shot of her and her mom. Her mom's wearing this really beautiful like champagne thing. Like I overall like what they're doing, which yes, has that vintage look. Super cute, but can age her often. Yeah, that is absolutely really, really astute. I think her dress and makeup was better than her hair for sure. But I just think that, yeah, like I just think it looked. But I at the same, the volume was too much. It just I don't really understand how you're supposed to do that though. But yes. Um, but anyway, her mom was wearing this really beautiful like champagne sequin dress, and her mom looks like her from like here up, God bless. So but in this space, which she says wasn't her favorite space, they're filming them, and right behind them you can see the people sitting at like the counter ordering whatever, and they're like flip-flops and plumber crack shorts right there, so that in the shot of them like walking down the aisle, it's like some people like in the back, like, I hate that for her. Now, I have suspected, and I mean this, that she took on this whole 90-day opportunity to showcase a certain amount of her style and her business entertainment savviness, which is basically she does a good job of like decorating mid-level, nice looking, what everyone's kind of doing events. The balloon things are great. I love a balloon thing. I don't not like a balloon thing. Balloon things are great, like kid things. Like anytime you need a balloon installation, always great. And that girl can do it. You know what I'm saying? And remember, like she bought all the things for her like different parties. It almost felt like this was like a commercial for Cara's style. But it's interesting that she neglected to really show us what she can do when push comes to shove, which is what this wedding would be. I know they don't want to spend money on the wedding, and I get that. And I know that she has a lot happening, but if I could have just I wanted her to have been in the space a little longer and realized that they could have like blocked things off using like, honey, a bubble wall. I mean, like a flower wall. When I saw those people staring in at the ceremony, I was like, let's make a bubble wall, honey. Like, let's get your like skills going. A white bubble wall, I say bubble wall, balloon wall, so that those people can't stare in at your nuptials just sitting at the counter, honey, with their plumber cracks. I mean, I can't do it. God, it really wasn't a great space for a wedding. Like, every time they'd show the walls, I was like, is that like employee legal jargon posters up there? Do you know what I'm saying? Anyway. Listen, I want those posters to be up there where employees know that they have to get like paid, a certain amount of money, and there's like, rights and everything. But like, I don't understand what room you're getting married. I don't understand. Okay, the back of a German beer hall. She does say this, and even if it is this, Beth, at the end of the day, I'm sorry, I can't communicate. But what I want to say is, if that is what is happening on the walls, then build balloon walls, honey, to cover it all, and then get married in a big ass balloon like some weird foam party. But like, I would have rather had like a balloon ceremony than like see what I saw, which was like you plunked in this middle of this like not wedding space. Go in debt and be miserable. She did it right. Okay. I see you, Mickey. But you know what? She knows how to make those balloon things. It wouldn't have cost her that much money if she just like spent a little time getting a little friends, just like 1 week of like 4 walls of balloon things. Just balloon wedding. Anyway. Okay, so they say their vows. Their vows are nice, you know. Okay, moving on. Let's move on to Bilal and Shai. Hi. So this has been such a roller coaster with them that I first of all obviously think everything is fake. Okay, I think everything is fake. So having been to this part now with them, something tells me that everything was sort of like planned out, what their issues were going to be and some of the drama they were going to do. For the fact that I think that they recruited Bilal's mom and sister to be characters in their drama. So give me a second. I'm going to blow my nose. And I'm back. Oh, and docu-sweeties, I keep doing this. This is how you know that we haven't changed our name since recording a new app, Lord. So having said that, I think that anything involving those two people are fake because it doesn't make sense to me. Like, so let me tell you what happened. So Shai, having not really trusted Bilal, that he has her priorities or her safety comes to mind. Like that's where we left. We're left on this up and down over the prenup. And basically, she had gotten her family friend lawyer to look at it. And then he was like, Bilal was protecting himself and not protecting her, right? So if that is what you are coming off of, this man is protecting him and not me. Sorry. Why would you go to the one person that's also going to protect Bilal? Which is his mom, which is basically what happened. So she then calls Bilal's mom over to talk about it. As if she doesn't have her birds, honey, like all those little, remember she like, was it her like flock? I don't know what she called her friends in Trinidad, Tobago, like, remember? But anyway, she gets Bilal's mom to come over and have a conversation of like how to make a marriage work, how to be in a marriage, how to be with Bilal. It's kind of like all of that, which is so crazy. And I saw this tweet and I wish I had saved it for you. And so it's not my thought, but like someone else being like, honey, like when you are losing the game, you don't go to the other team's coach to like get advice, you know what I'm saying? LOL. So, but that's what she does. And Bilal's mom, surprise, surprise, is basically like, oh yeah. This is what you should do. Just let Bilal do whatever he wants. That's how you make him happy, and that's how you become like a submissive wife. You have to be submissive. This is what she tells her basically. You have to be submissive and trust that he's going to do what's good for you. Now, I'm not going to hold that against Bilal's mom for saying that. A, she's on team Bilal, and B, she's of a certain generation, religion, culture. I mean, like, yes, right? Those are not things that like would be like surprising this woman would say to Shai. It's more surprising that Shai would go to her. But anyway, this really touches Shai. Which I think Shai takes it more from the place of like, well, I have to let him lead, but I'm the neck, you know, like you leave him behind or whatever she says, you know. So it's interesting. I'm riding a horse. I'm learning how to ride horses right now, horseback riding. And when you first start learning, and I'm clunky because I don't know what it's like of how to ride them and steer them and have them do the things you want them to do, which is like go exactly when you want them to go and stop exactly when you want them to stop and go the exact pace you want them to go. It's all a thing, right? And the way that you do it, and I think, because I'm telling you, I'm learning now, but I'm sure that I'm talking to people that know how to ride horses, is like the subtle movements of your body almost just predicated with what you want your mind in this like dance you do. It's like this meditative, like, well, this is what's going to happen if I want the horse to go forward or back, and how you like subtly steer them. And it's all so symbiotic, and it's, well, okay, no, that's not the right word. It's all happening at a micro level. That is a feeling level. That is like an intrinsic, so subtle that you have to go below surfaces. If you experience anxiety or such, you have to like really breathe into the moments on a horse to get them to do anything. And maybe this is what Shy sort of hears in this conversation. Not that Bilal's a horse, but that you have to ease into reining in and steering someone with amount of ease and breath that you both get to where you want to go. And I think that Shy, if this is all to be real, was kind of like every time, he would say something, I would put up a thing, or I would be combative or something. And that was where my faults are. Like, she takes it as that. Also, I mean, I'm not going to be like up here being like, and Shy shouldn't think those things because, like blah, 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 like this woman is, God bless, of a certain religion and has chosen to be, in a certain kind of relationship that is, within line of her culture and religion or whatnot. So this is what they all want at the end of the day. They could not be in such a situation, but this is what they would like. And so having said that, so she cries. This is supposed to be very like healing towards her. And she basically has then another conversation with Bilal where she's like, yo, I talked to your mom. Like, not over the fact she's cooking him dinner and it's like a rock hard chicken. He's like, that's a frozen ass chicken. She's like, yeah. I'm gonna put the chicken in some water and just put it in the sink. He's like, it's rock hard. So it's just like, what kind of water are you putting it in? And I don't know. You need to have one of those defrosters. I love that he was like, that chicken is not gonna be done. I'm like, can you just like Bilal? Then yeah, like that like your mom and your like soon-to-be wife are having like the talk of talks. Like, can you just like go pick up like some Boston Market this one night? But anyway, God bless. Now here's something that happens. So she talks to Bilal, right? And she's like cooking, whatever. And she's like, I talked to your mom, and she made me realize some things, and I've been a little harsh or whatever about this prenup or whatever. And he's like, well, I've always taken care of you. And like, why would I stop now? And his whole thing, I guess, also is like, I've really been hurt. So it's hard for me to trust. So blah, 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 you have to really like be okay with me, like being scared or whatever, because it's hard for me to trust. Okay. So then she's like, okay, I get that for you. And I get that. And she kind of like she agrees to sign the prenup, right? And she relaxes him. And then she's kind of like, it would also, so, okay. When she agrees to sign the prenup, he then makes some sort of like recourse, like, and the businesses don't have to be in it. Like, we won't put the business of like your business, or we'll put the business of your, like, they kind of like make some sort of he like gives it up that he will put, I'm so sorry, I can't, is it because it's like legal talk? It's why I can't make a sentence. It's confusing to me, but he basically says like, and the thing that you want about the business, like, we can do that. And that makes her happy. And then she's like, oh, also, I really do want them kids by 40. So can we put them in the thing too? And he kind of like says, okay. She like acquiesces to say the prenup, and then she like basically gets him to give her the terms that she wanted, which makes me also feel like, yeah, this was all fake. Also, why I think this is fake is because in the promo for next week, what supposedly happens, I cannot believe, which is that we were told that Bilal's sister was like one of the top dress designers. And then we get a shot of the dress that this woman made for Shy. And Shy sees the dress, honey, and is like, that's hideous, and tells it to this woman's face. And I just cannot believe that is it. I just can't believe that that would be happening. That seems fake to have more drama. Because if these two people are just going to get married, then you have to think that they sat down with the producers and were like, well, we have a whole season. Right now we're in episode 15. We have to have like the things that happen up. We have to have the overreaching problems like prenups and kids. And then we have to have the specific moments of interactive drama. The prank idea of like having her go live in a place like that is a whole production, right? Like that required him to have the house and required there to be like sheets on the bed and everything. That was a whole thing that happened. And specifically that, if you remember, we were supposed to believe that she goes and stays in the prank house one night, and then all of Bilal's family, for some reason that he has access to the house, is like, isn't that a funny thing? Right? And she stays with him. So now to have this thing where I'm like, you are going to tell that one of the best dress designers is going to make that piece of hell, having not listened to the bride or what she wanted at all. And then you're going to show it, and then you're going to have you yell. I mean, it feels fake. Now it feels yummy. I can't wait to see it. I thought the dress was because she's Muslim, you modesty. Now, totally. But in the preview, they were like, you didn't even look at what I wanted. And she's like, well, I don't think that brides usually know what they want. And it's like, well, to me, if you are like a really great designer, you probably listen to your clients. And you probably have a business wherewithal. You're not going to go on a television show not listening to your client and then putting up a dress that is truly horrible. It is bad. So AK is like another test, another prank. Is that what you think it is? Yeah. Oh, Troy versus everybody. Hi, friend. You think it's another prank. Yeah, you think it's all a test or fake. So those are the options. And so yeah, as you watch this by Replay Gang, what is happening? Do you think these are all tests for her? Or do you think that this is all like manufactured producer drama pranks? You work with a client in the sketch. Yeah, I'm like, okay, all right. I love you guys. I love you guys. I love you guys. Okay, so boy, guess who is having the gardeners come? All right, so yeah, that dress looks horrible. I don't know what happened to the chicken. I don't know if she's gonna like what the chicken's gonna taste like. I hope she hope the chicken got made. It was tasty. I will say the one thing that Bilal's mom says that I connected with. So when she said this, I was like, well, that could be the quote of the episode to me. Like, if I'm going to hang my hat on anything, it's this. Marriage is two, and that's like me, whatever. Marriage is, quote unquote, two imperfect people holding on to each other and not letting go. Two imperfect people holding on to each other and deciding not to let go. Maybe I had deciding. Marriage is finding someone knowing that you are the greatest, and you're not bad, not the greatest, that you are imperfect, I guess, and this person's imperfect, but you are going to move through your own and this person's own challenges, and you are going to like understand that this person has faults, whether it's the communicative faults or the expressive faults or decision making, whatever. Like, there are certain things this person is not going to always be great at, but you are going to decide to just be with them and never not be with them. And so as things come up, you just move through them. You've made this decision. You either help each other get better or you don't, but you keep holding on. Just like Wilson Phillips says, hold on for one more day. I know that there is pain, but you hold on for one more day to break free from the chains. I know that there is pain, but you Hold on for one more day and you break free, break from the chain. Someday somebody's gonna make you want to turn around and say goodbye, say goodbye. That's what she's saying. Tell them, baby, you better just be with my son, honey. Hold on for the rest of your life to my son. Okay, so, but I don't know. I think that when she said that to me, that was like a wisdom thing that was like, oh, okay, yeah, is that what it is? Because I haven't been married. I have not been married, and I have truly never seen from in a nuclear way how a marriage does survive. Like in the sense that if little personal situation is my parents are divorced. And, my dad got married twice and got divorced twice, every time 7 years. My mom got married 3 times, got divorced 3 times. 7 years. That 7 year itch, honey. There was a long time in my life where I was wanting to have to date someone for 7 years before I'd marry them. Because something happens at 7 years, honey, where everything goes to shit. So, like, you really can be with someone for a whole long ass time, but if you aren't with them for 8 years, you don't have shit. Unfortunately, now I'm like, okay, well, if I need to date someone for 7 years before I can marry them, I'm not going to get married for like a minute, you know? Um, so let's move on though to Patrick and Thais. Whoa, what a lot. How lot? A lot for this. A lot for this. Now, I have thought about how to talk about Patrick's sister and mom because visually it was a lot to take in with these two women. Because the story of how you look like is just, it's like this, just, like it's a visual, it's like a lot to like kind of like take it and like think about. But at the same time, I want to be not mean and just, respectful and just like, interest, curious detachment of how other people look and what their lives can be like from what I see about them. Okay. So, so basically Patrick and Thais, having come hot off the fact that Thais' dad hates him. And I don't quite understand why Thais doesn't tell him that it's not like you so much. It's just that my dad like doesn't like American men, but she really doesn't care. So she's just like, no, he hates you. And Patrick, I think, is like internalizing that's against him. I wish it was more like American people, like American men, Americans. He doesn't like any bumps, this man has its own reasons and they're not horrible reasons. So God bless. So he decides that before they get married, which they don't know if they're going to get married because she could literally at any time grab a plane, go back to Brazil. That's what they're like saying now, like the big thing. Their drama is that like she's a flight risk. To me, I'm like, well, if she wants to go back, go back. Okay, like like you can't just like get this woman stuck here and get married if she wants to go back. But she's not really making a decision. Thais is what feels like somewhat either like emotionally overwhelmed or stunted, or she's too young to make a decision, and so she's just so scared. She's just like literally just like. Anyway, so she's also so Patrick's like, okay, but until that happens, let's go back to Massachusetts, which is hard for me to say and very hard for her to say. Boston, I'll just say Boston, where obviously John's from. And for some reason, John's not going, which I want to see John in his native environment so bad. It's only Patrick and Thais is going. And I'm like, why isn't John going? John has friends to see there, honey. And John has to go to like the bars around the area and say hi to all his friends. John has women there that like need to see John. He needs to hear all of his like fellow Boston accents. Like every once in a while, Johnny has to go back to the motherland and get all like the fuel he needs to deliver that accent throughout the year. Personally, for me, I'll tell you, not having John there is sad, but John's face is still kind of there in the face of Patrick's and John's sister, who looks just like John. Yeah, because Patrick is his half brother, but this sister is John's sister, full sister. Okay. So Tiges is like, well, he decided to go to Massachusetts without telling me. And so, like, now I'm doing that or whatever. God bless. So they go there. Now, we've been knowing some things about Patrick's background in life. He's been like somewhat open with like the weightlifting, the doping. I mean, to a degree, he's been married, that got divorced. He like went through it with that. He had a hard life growing up. Him and John, like saw some things they probably shouldn't see. His mom like had issues with addiction. We all know that. So anytime. So having seen all that now and the relationships, the struggles that he had to come back to see this is like already a thing. Then we learned that his mother also got diagnosed with cancer, my loves, and it's like she basically has like a year left to live. And this woman, she's lived a hard life. And that energy is there. Now, this is where, okay. Having known all that, the makeup artist of like the Drew Carey show, the one that did that woman, that Drew Carey, that one was like Mimi, that character, that makeup artist must have retired, my loves, next door to Patrick's mom, and hasn't worked since that Drew Carey show went off. And got a call because she came over and painted Patrick's mom's face. This has nothing to do with cancer. In such a way that was a very specific choice. Because it didn't have to do that. I don't know what happened, but it was a specific choice to do all of that. And it was a lot. I mean, honey, they put eyebrows on Patrick's mom that like didn't have to be there. So my thoughts are, who was this makeup artist? And if it's John's mom and Patrick's mom doing it, you don't have to do that much, my love. Sit back, enjoy. Don't have to do it. Don't even it's a lot of work. It's a lot of like even pressure of like the paint or the eyebrow pencils. It's a lot, my love. Just relax. Just relax. I mean, it doesn't have to do it. Now here is a whole other thing. Then we see Patrick's sister with John's face, my loves, and this woman has the craziest looking black eye and busted lip that I haven't seen in a whole ass. I've not seen that before. Mommy, this woman took, a full punch to her eye. The whole thing is black, and it is like the reddest, bloodiest things happen to this woman's eye. Then at some other point later on, another thing came to her lip. We have one moment in a confessional early on, and the producer's like, hey, what happened to that eye? And she's like, ice skating. Now, I don't ice skate. I don't know. I do not know how to ice skate. I've skied. I mean, I know how to ice skate. Sorry. I've ice skated. I don't know how to ice skate. I don't do it a lot. I live in Southern California. I know what it's like to fall when you're skating. Now, here's the thing. When you fall, when you skate, it's like I cannot imagine a world in which you fall eye first into a fist that just happens to be laying on the floor. It wasn't. I don't know what to tell you. on her lip too. It was a lot to take in the entire, I mean, it was just a lot to watch with this woman. Like this, as much makeup that was on her mom's face, there wasn't nearly enough on hers. I'm just saying, my loves, like we could have gotten her an eye patch or something. She, like she really wanted to be on this. This must have happened, and she was like, "Holy shit, I'm gonna be on television," and she had to make a decision to just like everything's fine. I don't know what to tell you. All right, but then so that's just kind of like having to digest with you all the way that we were like presented these women, okay? But like their energy also very forward, very protective, very on it. Um the sister and Thais go shopping, and this is their time to kind of like bond. Um, and Thais definitely doesn't feel comfortable telling the sister about the fact that I don't know her dad hates Patrick, mostly because she can see that like her sister, like fights all the time. I mean I wouldn't. I mean yeah, Thais is like scared shitless and like can understand English, better than she can speak it, and then just like doesn't really want to like open up in front of this woman. So, okay, so yeah, the sister and Thais like don't really connect or bond. The sister is somewhat defensive over like what Thais wants, but it's also interesting because one thing that this family is realizing is they don't have a situation where Thais like really wants that green card. Like this isn't a conversation, or and later on they're gonna go to dinner, and so they're gonna have a whole other long situation where the mom and the sister can like get at Thais. This is not something that they can like accuse Thais of like, well, are you just here with our brother because you want to be in America? It is very obvious that Thais like isn't here for that. What they also think is that perhaps Thais isn't really even here for Patrick, more though that she's scared and just doesn't know how to make a decision or and hurt anyone's feelings, which kind of feels like what it is. Um, Let me tell you. So they after this like bad dress shopping or whatever, they go to a meal. Honey, the meal is with the mom and Patrick, and we get a lot of information. The mom is just like letting it be known what she wants, which is basically that she wants her grandchild to be raised in America, and it's what she's putting her foot down and she's saying. Thais is like, you can say what you want. I'm not gonna say anything back. I don't know what to tell you. I'm so sorry. You're gonna be not on this earth much longer. I don't know who's gonna make it first, my child or honey, you and your spirit reunited with its maker. I mean, like, this is a moot point, which is a little mean for me to say, but that's what I was thinking the whole time. I think you guys were too. I think that there's a lot of compassion and empathy I have for someone like John's mom. I don't know why I can't, John and Patrick's mom, who has lived a whole life and has made a journey, and the journey was bumpy. And now is at the end of the journey and having to come to grips with that is stuff that I don't even understand, especially with a mind that probably hasn't been able to evolve in a certain way because of lifelong addiction patterns. So we are seeing a person who has internalized probably some guilt of how they raised their family, and that guilt and shame, sometimes when you are sitting on that, one way to not feel it is to micromanage things now in the real time of like, well, this is how it should be, and this and this. It's on a moral high ground to not have to recognize your own failures past in your past in a very like Christian way, in a biblical way. It's kind of like, how are you so obsessed with a speck of sawdust in your brother's eye when all this time there's a great big plank in your own, right? That's like, well, this person has not lived, I think, the greatest of life in what I would feel like aligns for me. It's probably been a tough road that now this person is like on death's door. So there is going to be a harshness to her, and having her tone be very, very intensely harsh, I think Thais gets as like, this is a person that is in a lot of pain, physical, emotional pain, that she has learned to live with in such a way that even when that it probably has always been there in such a way that a 10-year-old Patrick would come up to his mom being like, look at this piece of art I made. And that mom, and I want to know what the eyebrows looked like at this time in her life. Was it always like what I saw right now? Was like, what's that? That's not art. That's just scribbles. Ugh, go play sport. I think, yeah. To me, yeah. The eyebrows are so intensely pigmented with what looks like two whole jars of like dip brow pomade from like, I think that mostly, yeah, the eyebrows are a lot, but also so much work to do for someone who my loves like doesn't have that much energy to expel. Okay, like this woman does not have it. So anyway, so she's really mean to Thais. Yeah, she's harsh. She's like, my grandchild's not gonna live in Brazil, and she is just like, listen, if Thais was, not so understanding and probably not so scared, maybe she would have like had the reaction to yell back. But also, this woman is like on death's door. You're just gonna let her say whatever the hell she wants. You're gonna be like, okay, yeah, 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 yeah. My unborn baby, the one that doesn't exist, is, yeah. Why don't you tell me how I'm gonna raise this baby person that I don't think I'm ever gonna see again? Who like definitely didn't do the best job raising your kids. You know that because I'm dating one of them. I'm about to get married to one of your sons, and we all know how you raise that one because that one remembers. So you can kind of tell me whatever you want, and I hope that the rest of your life is in some comfort. At the same time, like cancer sucks. What can you do more than that? Like I wouldn't expect Thais more to do more than that. Um, the sister's like, I don't believe you want to live here. And I think that's true. I just kind of like the fact that the sister and the mom like get that she doesn't want to live there, because I feel like if they didn't understand that, this whole conversation would have been like, do you want the green card? They can't even accuse her of that because it's obvious she does not. Um, Patrick's mom then also is like, I've been married 4 times. I wonder how long each one of those marriages lasted. Why is marriage so hard to keep going? Could you imagine if like Patrick's mom had a conversation about marriage with Bilal's mom? Two imperfect people just holding on, deciding not to let go. Can you imagine like Patrick's mom having that mindset? Very different people. The best part of this style of show, right, is like if you are naturally curious people, just to see how many different types of people there are in this world and mindsets, like not just like cultures, which of course, yeah, of course, 90 Day Fiancé is different cultures, but also, yeah, the mindsets that come with it. What is people's stringent moral compasses and how people live their lives. Sorry, addictions are a horrible plague on society, but showing this family was pure trolling in my opinion. It was interesting, Lisa, because it sure was set up in such a way. I it's trolling. It's trolling because to me it feels trolling, and I'm going to agree with you in this because as a person that comments, I'm going to have to talk about them, right? And how do I do so without with being somewhat not mean or being not hacky about it and not just going for the lowest common denominator of like making fun of the way people look, but also having to truly be like, but like also, yeah, like that's. I think that I try and do it by such a way of being like, okay, but why? Why did she choose the eyebrows? To me, yes, I'm like, I think that like okay. So let me finish. At the end of the scene, my love, the mom is basically like, "Oh, I'm running out of oxygen. No, my oxygen is running super low, and my batteries are low. All of it's running low, and I gotta go." And that's her like out, which begs all these other questions. Oh my God, do you have some like extra batteries? Wait. You just have so tell me that you don't just like please. If this is like you have extra batteries, right? Like all the time, like you should. I mean, if you have oxygen going, like please tell me people to tell me about oxygen tanks. Is there extra batteries, rechargeable things? Doesn't feel like something you could just like be okay with going out and about and just like willy nilly having the one half battery you have. Seems to me, my love, that this day and age of USB cords and stuff, that we have some extra batteries, like extra chargers. I mean, I have, for computers and such, oxygen tanks too. Now, those are two things: a battery charge and an oxygen level, I think, but maybe I'm wrong. If the oxygen level is low, also crazy. Tell me that you have like extra cartridges somewhere and whatnot. And how long do you have? And like, is it that all of those came to mind. The energy of this woman was a palpable energy. This woman has led a life, like I said, and you can feel it. And Patrick's behavior around her is very interesting. He barely talked. I mean, barely talked. He regressed in her presence. I feel like he was that 10-year-old that he had brought his like art, and the art is Tiges, to his mom again. And his mom was like, "Oh, that old thing is gonna take your baby and run to Brazil." Ugh. I've been married a bunch, so I know about marriages, and I don't know about this one. It's like, and the thematic device that makes it worth talking is the fact that, of course, that she's dying. To have that energy and to like have that roughness juxtaposed with the knowledge that this person is dying is just, I mean, it's real shit. What are you going to say? Your outings are limited. You're so compassionate, but this family are all affected by mama's damage. I'm pretty sure she knows how to score some oxygen. I think that you are absolutely right. I think that a family and with a matriarch like that and everything, there's going to be cycles of abuse and trauma that we are watching. So yes, I think that I'm I want to be able to talk about it from such a way that we can all see that that is. We are watching a character for sure with character makeup on talk in such a way. And I'm sure there are a lot of like 90-day people talking about the show that will just rip her apart and rip the sister apart and say, whatever happened to the sister's face or whatever. And at the same time, can you imagine? I actually truly can't believe the breadth and depth of what we can all feel just watching from the scene of what their lives have been like. The choices that have brought them to this very specific moment. The choices that that sister made to be here and have the mindset that she does, which is that Thais is the sketchy one, and her whole face looks like she got in a full fucking fight that she fell on the ice, ice with. I hope that she's not in a situation that she can't talk about, that she is being hurt. Maybe it was a situation where she just truly got into fisticuffs with someone and she just didn't want to talk about it. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know which one it is. But whatever it is, she definitely just felt like she went on camera and forgot what she looked like or didn't realize how bad it was. Like it's just, as a viewer, it was very hard to like focus on anything. That eye looks crazy. Not just the black eye, but like it's hard for me. I feel bad anytime I see someone's eye has blood in it like that. I just we are such eye focused people. I like stare at people's eyes. I'm just like, oh God, that eye just, it's hard for me. It was traumatic worrying that she is in a bad situation. Okay. Yeah. That's what it was. It was that. It didn't feel like what she said was real. And so the whole time we're watching this woman, we're being like, blink twice. Should we call someone? If you can blink. I hope Matt Sharp cut her a check for appearing like that. She seemed so used to being injured, like it was not shocking to her. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So basically, the mom runs out to get more oxygen. The sister's like, look, at the end of the day, deep down, I don't think that Thais wants to marry him. And like, I just think that she's just here. And I don't think it's going to be like great. And, at this time, I agree. And one more other thing is, I don't know why we don't know anything about, or we ever hear or have Thais talk to her mom. Thais's mom did she not sign on to be on the show? She never talks about her. She never FaceTimes her, at least on camera. What does her mom think of Patrick? Now, you could all tell me that I'm crazy and that they talked about this episode 1 and there's some reason why we're not, but I don't remember. So you tell me. I agree with you, Nicole. It was I'm going to move on. The Patrick Thais stuff was very intense because of everything that we had known before. We had known that he didn't have a great life, and like from all of his brothers had it hard growing up in various amounts of trauma and abuse, and the mom is that mom. So to take it all in and try and like discuss it and, absorb it is hard because it's very intense, sad shit. Can you imagine how Thais feels knowing the kind of family she will have when she marries Patrick? Not enough love in the world for that. That's why I think it's like she's sitting here and they're like, yeah, they're all like, like, well, it's gonna be really hard for you, like not having anyone in America because when you're in Brazil, you have all your family, right? And she's like, yes. So she's like, yeah, in America, you're not gonna have your family. None of them are being like, we're gonna help you or like that. And and thank God they're like, Thais, I'm sure wouldn't want your help. What the hell? It's just like it's so. They are. Patrick's family is the exact type of family, if not even worse, than what Thais's dad is like. Why would you go there? Americans are horrible. Thais is like, no, dad, no, or no, they're no, they're not. I'm gonna go to America and just why can't I? I'm sorry. Why can't I raise my fictional baby where I want to raise my baby as the mother? Oh, because you think America's better? Okay, well, in Brazil, I know everyone. All my friends, my family are there. In America, you two are here. And Patrick hates you. So why the hell are you trying to tell me America is better for my baby? Oh, dad's right, honey. My dad is no wonder she's like, oh no, I thought my dad at the beginning of this was just kind of like overprotective and didn't really know. But now that I'm here, it's like I am the daughter of a sage. No, this man knows that Americans are crazy. I have Patrick's mom here telling me how great America is and how I can't possibly raise my baby in Brazil. Honey, you raised your baby in America. And so look at yourself. Physically, but also like at the end of one's life, again, it must be very hard to look into a mirror and see how you lived. Just like it's very hard to accept that you're going to die. I don't know if this woman can do it. I don't know if this woman has the wherewithal. I don't know if there's ever been a person in Patrick's mom's life who has ever been evolved or able to connect with her in such a way that she has been able to see the world throughout from a cleaner plane of glass. How do I say this? There's a song that Fiona Apple sings like, and she's talking about a pane of glass. She's looking through the world, and she's talking about how the pane of glass was filthy. She couldn't get a clear view what she was trying to look at. It's a great metaphor. Like I think Patrick's mom's view of the world, she looks through a piece of glass. She sees the world. And for Patrick's mom and a lot of people that have experienced trauma, the pane of glass gets dirty. And there has been no one to teach her how to clean it. So it has just gotten dirtier, dirtier, dirtier. And all of the things, the way that she experiences life is only to look through this one now dirty and tiny and smaller gapped view. So anyway, well, I'm sure there are some skeletons in the mom's closet. Or sorry. Well, I'm sure there's some skeletons in Tyson's family too. Where's the mom? LOL. Great point. We have had a very, we've been able to pull back, know a lot about Patrick's family life, and it's been hard. And from what we know and what we can see, and yeah, as I said, we don't know what's happening there. So, if you like the metaphor, thank you so much. But yeah, like download. It's off of Extraordinary Machine, the Fiona Apple song. I think it's Fiona Apple is top 2 for me. It goes Fiona Apple and Stevie Wonder for different reasons. Is it Extraordinary Machine? I just want to make sure. Window. Yeah. So off of, if you want to know the exact thing I'm talking about off the thing, listen to Window off of Fiona Apple's Extraordinary Machine. And that's actually the whole album is awesome. Tim's The Sick in the Head song is one of my favorites. And Get Him Back. Get Him Back, which is number 2. Oh God, Extraordinary Machine 2. Number 1 is me. So Extraordinary Machine off of this album, the first title track is How I Feel About Myself. Get Him Back, number 2, is just a fun song, and so is 5. I sing that like, there's like a beat to it. I like those, but the song I'm talking about is 7. Oh God, there's so many. She's amazing. So, okay. Moving on. By the way, side note is last night, Juan and I went to the Hollywood Bowl and they had a Frank Sinatra, Peggy Lee tribute. Okay. And it was so great. Some parts. The parts that were great were Brian Stokes Mitchell was there. And this jazz singer named Diane Reeves, which I didn't know that well either. Brian Stokes Mitchell was there. He sang, "Oh my God, Luck Be a Lady Tonight." It was fabulous. Side note is Brian Stokes Mitchell's a Broadway genius. Luck Be a Lady Tonight is a Sinatra standard. You hear it a lot in Vegas, but whatever. It's also from the score of Guys and Dolls, which is a musical. Great musical. A lot of great songs come from Guys and Dolls. Sometimes you don't even know, like, yeah, Luck Be a Lady, like literally that song, like Luck Be a Lady Tonight, that comes from Guys and Dolls. Other songs that come from Guys and Dolls, like I Love You, a bushel and a peck, a bushel and like that song comes from them. Also, anyway, great musical. He played Sky Masterson. That's why he got to sing the song. His voice is amazing, unbelievable, so good. Other people that were there is Debbie Harry. She wasn't that great. She like didn't go to the rehearsals. I don't know what to tell you. It was crazy. But they also had Billie Eilish come out and she sang, because it was also a Peggy Lee's like a tribute to her. Billie Eilish came out and sang Fever. And I knew I was a Billie Eilish fan. Her voice is, I mean, Billie Eilish really beautifully killed the song Fever in doing it in such a way that is like her voice, but incredibly respectful of the classic and the classic orchestrations of the songs. Because these big band songs, Peggy Lee and Frank Sinatra, it's, there's also an homage to the orchestrations and the band leaders that like created the transitions and pieces from these songs that also are prevalent in modern pop culture. So anyway, last night was great. So Billy, do you have these 2 Sinatra duet CDs? Do you have these 2 Sinatra duet CDs? I don't know which ones. I have like a lot. I think I don't know if I have the CDs, but I have like full playlists. I almost want to listen to, you know what? This is because I can do whatever the hell I want. Because this is my YouTube channel. I'm gonna play a little bit, okay? This is Billy singing Fever. Never know how much I love you. Never know how much I care. When you put your arms around me, I get a fever that's so hard to bear. You give me fever. Okay, I don't know how much I can play because I don't want to get a copyright claim, but I hope you guys heard that. I mean, I'm not using a microphone right now, but it was just that classic jazz, warm, I mean, just like alto range, sexy, just so good. So I'm glad you guys got to hear it. Okay, so, but let's move on. That was a hard one. Let's move on to light fare, like Eve and Muhammad. I don't know. So, Eve and Muhammad have been like, just on whatever page they've been on. I mean, it feels like, Muhammad's on a page of the Quran, and honey, I don't know, Eve is on a page of like The Artist's Way. Two different books. And Muhammad has a conversation with his mom. And he hasn't, he loves that mom, honey. And the mom is there with the grandma, and he's like, yeah, I'm here, and she's bananas, mom. She's super American-y. I don't know. She's super American-y. The mom's like, yeah, she's American. You're in America. And he's like, yeah, but mom, aren't you? And the mom is full hijab. And he's like, yeah, but mom, like, don't you wish that she would like dress more like Egyptian women? And she's like, no, I wouldn't think she would. She's definitely American. Also, don't ruin this. Muhammad hears that. That sinks in. This episode, I guess, is episode of mothers telling people what's up. Different ways. You have Bilal's mom telling Shai what's up, and Shai's like, yes, everything that I haven't been doing, you're right. Then Muhammad's mom telling him what's up, which is that he's wrong and to like give Eve whatever she wants, and he gets that. And then of course Patrick's mom telling them all what's up, and them being like, okay. So the mom is like, yeah, I'm taking Eve's side. She's a good woman. She came here. I liked her a lot. And he just keeps saying that he wants to be happy and comfortable in his life, And who doesn't? And the comfortable part is interesting. I don't know about this Muhammad, honey. I don't know. I don't know about this whole choice. I don't think that he wants to be here forever married to her. And I think that that's not the greatest and somewhat nefarious. And I think that I've also been somewhat, it's hard for me not to hold that against her, in that I want her to be seasoned enough to realize that, so that she doesn't get herself in a bad situation, which feels like this is what is happening. But here we are. So they decide to go to dinner and have some sort of moment. And they go to a restaurant, and he's like, what is that? The dessert menu? Before they've even ordered anything, she's like, no, it's the wine list, but don't worry, I'm not ordering. I just want to be able to see what I can't have. At that point, I was like, is Muhammad going to be like, no, let's order, but no, he doesn't. Then they eat, and then he very heavy-handedly is like, let's go see the view outside of a restaurant. And so he grabs her, and she's supposed to assume that nothing is happening weird, even though it's very obvious that he's pushing her to a certain place without even having a moment of breath with it. He's like, look, fireplace. I know you love a fire. It's one thing I know about you is you love fire shit. And so he pushes her over to the fireplace and is like, wait, here. I'm going to get down on one knee and ask you to marry me. And she's like, what? No, yay. And it's so, very forced. It's very forced. It's uncomfortably forced. And then it's supposed to, I think, also be somewhat indicative that he is accepting of her fire spirituality, by that he's doing it by the fire. Then they make a wish. She's like, do you want to make a wish? He's like, okay. I wish for a comfortable and happy life for me. I'll tell you one classy part. Muhammad's mom was like, oh, also when you, tell Eve and Theron hi for me. And I thought that was nice. That's it for them, my love. Can you believe this? I need more people to talk about. Oh, Jibri and Miana. Why can't I talk? That's it, right? Oh no, I haven't talked about Emily and Kobe yet. Lord, I cringed so hard I almost cracked a tooth. It just, you want better for anyone. Okay, Jibri and Miona, then we'll go back and we'll do we'll end on Emily and Kobe. So Jibri and Miona, they come out, honey, in their pink jackets. It's the night they're leaving, honey, like two thieves in the night after being like evicted from his parents' house, which wasn't really that, but I don't know. So then this is also somewhat interesting because later on, when the first season starts to happen, on Instagram, I went to Miona's Instagram and she was in, where are they going again? Joshua Tree at that time. And I remember being like, remember, I don't know, you guys were here. Remember when we looked the live and we looked at her Instagram and we were like, oh, look, she has her beauty Instagram up or whatever. And it was at that time they were in Joshua Tree and we're like, Joshua Tree, like how'd they get there and why'd they get there? Now we know they, I guess, go to Joshua Tree at this time, honey, and they've been living there ever since. So I don't even know exactly how and when, but this is what they say. They say that they had booked an Airbnb in Joshua Tree to get married at, and that, you know, after Jibri's parents were basically like, get the hell out of here. Jibri was like, well, I guess I'll move in there early. Now, what's interesting to me, because Jibri's parents basically were like, okay, where are you getting married and when are you getting married? And they could not give them an answer, right? And at that time, to me, they knew they were getting married in Joshua Tree. Miona had already said that. I don't understand, if they knew that they had to get married by the end of December, why they just weren't like, oh, mom and dad, yeah, we decided we're going to get married in Joshua Tree. When? We are getting married December 21st through the 23rd. One of those days. Anyway. We'll talk about that. What? Muhammad has a girlfriend. That text got leaked on Reddit. Lisa would know. Lisa, where is Joshua Tree? Okay, so Joshua Tree is in the Southern California desert that is inline, kind of like, it's just east Southern California. No, it's okay. Let me look it up. A lot of people go there. I've always wanted to go there. I've never been there. It's like you get to go and have some sort of camping life there. It's 117 miles away from me. People go there. It's like San Bernardino National Forest, by Indio. Oh yeah, by kind of like Desert Hot Springs, by like Palm Desert. It's like Palm Springs, but like a little more north. So it's kind of like, I think it's, yeah, desert. There might be more hills involved. I'm not quite sure. One thing that is like a known thing is they do a lot of sound baths there, which I've always wanted to go to because they have supposedly this big auditorium, maybe with like some sort of like rounded ceiling, so that if you go to a sound bath there and you like lay on the ground and they play those beautiful bowls, I think it's supposed to be a very full body, exciting experience. Yurts and yoga retreats. Yeah. When I drive through Joshua Tree, I see nothing but cactus and desert. I don't know. It's like, I think that I didn't see that. Oh, something to do. Yeah, Lisa, find it. Just kidding. Thank you so much for all the work you do. But yeah, a lot of like fun hipsters will go there, get an Airbnb, do shrooms. I feel like it's a shroom place. You like do shrooms out in the desert, and you like see the sky, like you like camp, and it's like you maybe go to one of those sound baths, maybe there's stars. To me, I have one idealized fantasy of going to Joshua Tree and just like being underneath the stars, like in like a jacuzzi or like a hot tub. Like it feels like a big sky situation, and you could just be like in a hot tub in the desert and feeling great about your life there. Anyway, so yeah, here's the thing. I wonder how much their matching wardrobe cost. Like these pink jackets, these pink puffer jackets. It's like it feels a little bit like how Cara got on the show and to like show off all her like style. It's like Gibber got on the show, honey, to like Miona and Gibbery like planned out every outfit. So if they planned out every outfit, they planned other things, including the fight in the recording studio where this astronaut got in the middle of it. Not trees, but large succulents. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So basically they're packing the car, and at one point Gibbery is trying to like, I don't know, do all the packing in one, like in the shortest amount of trips, because he has like, I mean, 5 shoe boxes, and the other hand has 2 guitars, and this grown-ass man who's 28, I guess, thought that he was going to be able to move both things without anything happening outside the door. And it's like, no, you can't have 5 shoe boxes on one hand like you're like a waiter at a fancy like restaurant, honey. Like you need the other hand to like hold those 5 shoe boxes. I don't know what's happening. Gibbery like doesn't think things out. And I think that's half the reason why his mom is a little like sad. Gibbery, like you just want to be like, Gibbery, do it. No, do the things, do it right. Is that what there is something to a generation of like, this is a very small thing, but when I saw Gibbery, like again, 5 shoe boxes in one hand and 2 guitars in the other. You want someone to just be like, don't try and do a shortcut like that, because what's going to end up happening is you don't have, for some reason, the wherewithal and foresight to see that all of your shoes are going to fall and you can't do it anyway. So just do things right. We want to be able to trust for you to understand that, no, you're going to make 2 trips. You're going to have the guitars be 1 trip. You're going to have you in your hands. You're going to take the shoe boxes down, and that is enough. You can go back and then take something else. But like to watch someone not know how to like do anything, it's hard for her. And that's why, I think that she can only do so much, that mom. She's done a lot. So basically, they are like, well, you're going to go. And they're like, yeah, we're going to go to Joshua Tree, the place we wouldn't tell you we were going to go earlier for some reason. And they like hug. You can really tell that stepdad and I think Gibbery do not have a good relationship or whatever. The stepdad really like holds Gibbery's like behavior against him. But sometimes I wonder if like he also holds Gibbery's behavior against his wife, because his wife is a whole ass mom of Gibbery and a psychologist. Anyway, they all hug him, and he's like to his mom, he's like, you'll be proud of me in a year. And that mom, honey, those pink glasses don't hide the reaction of just not even a smile. That was a little bit too much. Her reaction is this to that. Okay. Not even okay. It really is that emoji that is just like, that one sometimes says. Anyway, I don't know what to tell you about that. I want to move on to Emily and Kobe. They had to wear the pink puffy jacket outfit because they would fit in a suitcase. How did they pack their entire wardrobe in a little SRV, including her rollerblades? Oh. Yeah, her. How much is the Airbnb? Who's paying for the Airbnb? Airbnb, and are you sharing an Airbnb? Is it a 1 bedroom? Is it a yurt? Is it one of those like, yeah, there's like a lot of, yeah, the Airbnb in Joshua Tree could be a variety of structures. You know what they have a lot of? Those like silvery bullet looking RVs or those like, God, they have flyers? Oh no. There is a specific thing that I'm trying to discuss. In the desert, they would be like a trailer, but it looks like a 50s futuristic silver bullet trailer. Airstream! God bless you, Just Jamie. Thank you. Thank you so much. I think there's a lot of these airstreams in Joshua Tree, which I always wonder because like I see them a lot, and the airstreams again are like stainless steel looking. So in my mind, I'm like, how hot does it get in these like what looks just like bullets? But they're all over the place. Okay, all over the place. And in my mind, I was like, yeah, where are they staying? Are they staying in an airstream? It feels like they would stay in an airstream because they're cheap, I think. I mean, I think that Airstreams might be cheap. Now, you could easily tell me, like, oh, you're dumb, Airstreams. And we're like professional campers. Chris, you're dumb. Airstreams are like the top of the line things that are very expensive and filled with modern day accoutrements. I mean, I don't know, maybe. Can you tell that I'm not like the biggest camper? I feel bad because um, I don't know how to tell people. I feel like I don't want to always come off as being like the most bougie person, but sometimes it's obvious that like, oh, no, I've never camped before. And then sometimes in my conversations with people about like what camping could be like, it's somehow revealed that I could be quote unquote high maintenance. And I try and avoid that. But it's my natural ignorance of how one would work in a camping situation. I have to like go with some people that do it enough that I can just have a certain base knowledge to not sound like someone who like an Eloise that like has lived her whole life at the plaza, you know? Eloise is a children's character that lives at the Plaza Hotel in New York. She probably will never camp in her whole life. And I've always somewhat felt a kinship with Eloise, mostly because she's like an only child who was just kind of run amok, and she always had like a chubby tummy and frizzy hair, uncombed hair. And that was me to a T growing up. Just go glamping. Oh, hi. Hey, baby. Yeah, Airstream has a big cult following too. Yes, I think I feel like I knew this. Yeah, it's a whole thing. Sometimes I just want to know, like, Betsy, like, how hot did those things get? Get with middle class RV glamping. Yeah, like, I think that, yeah, I'll be honest. I don't know about the RV. Like, maybe I don't even need an RV. I think that I honestly could, like, I think that I would want, like, the best tent possible and an air mattress. I actually don't mind, like, sleeping in a tent. I just absolutely want there to be comfort from my bottom part. 'Cause I can't, like, sleep. It has to be, like, a good mattress. And then I think that I would enjoy some sort of bathroom situation that was sanitary and hygienic, where I felt that. If I could just get past those two things, that would be great. Now, some other things, I have like an espresso machine that's not really an espresso, that's like a fake Nespresso, that I can use those pods and then use my own arm to like crane myself a shot of coffee every morning. So I'll have that. Great. Glamping, Chris, it's a luxury. I want to do it. I guess these silver, I mean, I would assume so. Eloise is fabulous. Thank you, Tiffany. That makes me feel, yeah. Thank you. Brief mention as I go into our last couple that if you haven't yet, will you please give this video a thumbs up by, toggling a little thumbs it up, by liking this video, whatever you want to do. I'll give you the length of my famous #1 hit, thumbs it up, to do so. I really appreciate this moment. That might have it be where you have to exit the chat to do it if you're on a mobile device and come back in. I know that's annoying, but here it goes. This is my Billie Eilish thumbs it up. Thumbs, 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 thumbs it up. Thumbs it up. Thumbs it up. Thumbs, 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 thumbs it up. Thumbs it up. Thumbs it up. Thumbs, 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 thumb it up. I don't really know if that's Billie Eilish. I mean, I don't even know what is Billie Eilish to you. Billie Eilish to me, I guess, is just like emotive kind of feeling music. I gotta still do the weird melody I made from that, but it's like she kind of, I don't know, she's a very pretty voice. I don't know. Is that it? I love you guys. The new Marilyn trailer is out. Oh, I am so excited to see it. No, I love the fact that also that Marilyn is like rated like NC 17, you know? Is a whisper sing. I know. Yeah, you're right. It is kind of a whisper sing, but then like how would you sing it? Thumbs, thumbs. It's like you can't do it. Okay, so yeah, but thank you so much for liking this video. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for even being here. We have our last couple to go into. Emily and Kobe. Honey. Okay, the temperature has been rising. And like, I don't know what to tell you. It just feels like Kobe just was like, two things are happening. Kobe is being, I mean, just railroaded by Emily, right? Emily is railroaded every situation to be what she wants with Kobe. And Kobe does not like that. But what's weird, Kobe wants to be able to stand up to Emily. But the problem is he has decided to, instead of standing up to Emily, enlisting his friend who she does not know to stand up to Emily. And Temperature has his whole mindset, right? That, you know, men should be the head of the household, especially if you're going to date an African man, because an African man, this is what his culture dictates, and you have to understand that, and like all of that. But what I don't understand is why no one, including Temperature, is like, oh yeah, like Kobe, like you have to do it. If you want to be the person that leads a relationship, then you lead. You stand up for yourself and set boundaries. I can't do it for you. Because what ends up happening is exactly what's happening. She's there. Temperature has told her what's up in front of her family, which is like she should let Kobe lead, and that it'd be better for them to live in Ohio, for whatever reasons. And Emily has like obviously not taken that well. And Kobe hasn't even really like, even when given the opportunity to back up Temperature on why these are great situations, isn't even able to like use Temperature's preliminary strike to then firmly set the boundary. And the boundary would be this: Emily, every decision is because you say it, and therefore it is. And that's not what's going to happen anymore. We are a family, and I'm the man of the household, and I know that you are the wife and mother of the household, and so we need to be doing things together as a unit. Temperature is shown where Kobe like gets to hang out in Emily's parents' house, including his like private room. And he drops, in trying to tell Emily what could happen if they moved to Ohio, that he knows that she's pregnant. And Emily is very upset. And she's like, "You told him?" And Kobe's like, "Yeah, he's my best friend. I told him." She gets really upset. And I gotta take this comment down. Temperature. And she leaves, she kind of storms out, and Temperature sees sort of the situation Kobe is in, which is that Emily's very hard to discuss and do things with, and she gets very angry and she's very controlling. And at the same time, I don't know what to tell Kobe except for the fact that like you are letting this happen every moment. I kind of want Temperature to like also put some blame of the current relationships programming on his friend. Because if Kobe was coming in with also a firmer way about him, I think that it would be easier for Emily not to like control everything. But I don't know what to tell you, because he's been in Cameroon, because she's raised the baby thusly, and because like he is just on her, he has no footing on himself and he's just in her territory. It's just like that's what it is. It's unbelievable that she can't like see how crazy she's being. I mean, but it gets to a whole other level. So Kobe is now next scene hanging out with them horses, honey. And you know I love them horses too, honey. And those two horses don't talk back. And he's learning how to control the horses. But Emily comes in because Emily says that she picked up his iPad and plugged it in. And in doing so, the screen came up and the search history button was pushed to find out that he had been looking at one-bedroom apartments in Ohio. She's livid. She's like, how dare you even look at them? How dare you look at them? And she's like, I am not moving there. And she, I think, also is like trying to say that because he was looking at one-bedroom apartments, that like maybe he was doing it to not take the family. This was brought up in a live last night. So Wa and I have been talking about Love in Paradise on DocuSweeties, which is our podcast. We talked about this. And one thing is that there is a cultural difference. There's a social economic difference as well with some Americans from some of their, lovers from foreign countries. I think in Kobe's mind, of course he was looking for one-bedroom apartments. He can't afford anything else. He has not a job. In his mind, he wants to be able to afford a place for his family. And he doesn't even have a green card, does not have a job. And he knows that, Emily, you don't either. And you are going to have 2 kids. So I think in his mind, he's like, I obviously can't afford a 3-bedroom home. I can't afford a 3-bedroom home. I want to try and look to see what the cheapest would be so that we can like get our footing. Because unfortunately, I know you don't know shit about money. Your dad told me you don't know anything about money. That's why you bought your own ring and stuff. You have a kid on the way. We are living with your parents because we have no money. What would be the way for us to get out of your parents' house with a monthly rent that I know that I could hopefully try and put down every month? Anyway. She wants him to just outright say, all right, we don't have to move to Ohio ever. She's like, I'm not moving there for 2 years. I'm not going to move there. Like, blah, 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 blah. And what makes it hard for us is that she won't even entertain a conversation with the person she's going to get married of how that person and her would live their lives. What she's afraid of, from what I think, is that she wants to live, quote unquote, the Muhammad way, the most comfortable way she can, which to her probably is in a situation where her mom and her dad can give her endless amounts of free daycare, free childcare, and money whenever she wants. And that doesn't exist in Ohio. And what he's saying is, I don't want to take money from your dad. That's not for me, my culture. I want to make money for us. I want to be doing it for us. Now, to do it, I need to be amongst people that will help me, just like you want to be around people that's going to help you. The people that are going to help me are my people, my cultural people. It's not like it's a thing where, listen, if you if you, I can't talk, if you, come from a different land to America, it's much easier to have some people that know that life around you, right? Literally, my grandfather and my grandparents and it's really my great grandfather generation immigrated here from Syria, Lebanon. Now, at that time, it was only Greater Syria. It was one country. So there wasn't even a Lebanon yet. There's pockets of Lebanese Syrian people that like immigrated during that time all over America. They started on the East Coast and they like made their way west to the point now that because I was born in Southern California, um, like my whole family has been knowing the other Syrian Lebanese families that have lived where we live for years. Our families, are friends. Business has happened between families. Marriages have happened between families. Everything has happened between families, like cousins and aunts and uncles not getting married, but like there's business that happens there, like my dad is a businessman, he's a wealth manager. I mean, a lot of my dad's clients are just family friends, and the family friends that are specifically Syrian Lebanese. My dad has a lot of different clients, but there's a whole bunch of members of the community that my dad handles and has handled their families for years, right? Because whatever, it's just easy to do. And my family, and having said all of that, this is after 3 generations. My dad doesn't even speak Arabic. It isn't like I mean, it's a community of people, but it isn't even like super fresh, It's like, but that's what happens because there are two ways of seeing the world. There's adventurous, curious people who understand we're all one, and there's also the fact that some people, it's easier for them to relate and or understand and to be around people that are like them. It's just whatever it is. So I think that Emily does not understand what she's saying when she's refusing him the opportunity to be around people that could help him. Because he's saying in his mind, if I have people that will help me get a job, then me is my family, and my family is Emily and my 2 children. I need people to help me since I'm the man of the house and I feel dignity and an integrity by providing and protecting my family. I need to have that support and that power. I cannot get it here. Because I'd like, listen, these horses are great, but like, come on. I can't just be like a ranch hand of your dad. Hi. America's a melting pot. Every borough in New York has ethnic groupings for support, but also because of racism. Yeah. It's like there's two sides to it, right? But there's so many different sides to human behavior anyway. Because I was just thinking about, I was just talking to someone about this. There are the immigrants who come to America, and this is the full spectrum, that are so very into a Western way of life or an American way of life and have been somewhat influenced by media and very excited to come here, and which is great, and have an American dream and make money and assimilate to American cultures in such a way. I was just, embrace whatever that means, rodeo riding or whatever, all of that. Then there are the pockets of immigrants that come to America, and it's so overwhelmingly different that in order to survive, they remain cloistered if they can within the community that they know, of people that speak their common language and eat their food in such a way in order to survive. And then there's the people that start with one and do the other, or do some sort of version of both, or exist in the two realms in the way. And they're the political mindsets that come into this. There are the immigrants that come and are like, there are the immigrants that come like, don't ever want to speak their language again and want to learn English right away, and feel some sort of shame if they have an accent or if they speak their language. I mean, I'm not saying that this is good or bad. I think that that part's sad. I love my culture, but I'm just telling you, there's so many obviously different realms, and I've seen it. And then, of course, there's the people that are very proud of their culture that come here and then, refuse to assimilate, or refuse to don't ever want to learn English, or, don't care because they don't even have to. They feel like they don't need to, or whatever. Because there's just so many ways in which that you can exist. But ultimately, the understanding of who your other person is, your loved one, is, I think, important. And what we see over and over again in this show is the not understanding of someone who is foreign or who's immigrating here and what their life is. And so we have an even Muhammad or whatever, where people are just constantly shouting, you don't know how hard it is for me, but you don't know what I gave up, but you don't know how hard it is for me, but you don't know what I gave up, but you don't know how hard it is for me, you don't know what I gave up. It's like literally you just can hear that over and over again, if you like, over and over. And these couples just cannot understand each other, cannot understand putting their shoes on the other foot, and are shouting how misunderstood they are to the other without listening to the other or understanding them. So basically, Emily then charges in to Kobe after having said that she somehow found the search history, which was suspect. And he was like, okay, well, first of all, I'm sorry, don't look at my iPad, or it was weird how you decided to tell me that. And also, I just got sent a link. I'm allowed to look at a link. Okay, you can calm down. She's like, well, I just want to kill this in the bud right now. We are never moving. And it's like, I wish in this moment, Kobe could be like, can you hear yourself? This is what it is. I am not saying that we are moving right now. But what I am saying is, if I want to move, that is a conversation we can have. You cannot shut that conversation down. And it's going to happen right now in this stable. I let temperature open a conversation topic that I should have done. Emily, it's because I love you a lot, and it's sometimes very hard to discuss things with you. You blow up. But I'm sick of running away, and I'm sick of running away, and I'm sick of not letting us both know this is the boundary. I will have a say in how we live our lives. Period. The end. I would feel more comfortable being around people who can give me a job so I can make money for my family. That's you. So, from that precipice, from that place, let's discuss. It's not going to be and so her trying to shut down the conversation and being like, this is not going to happen. I need him to be like, no, it is going to happen. We are discussing this. You can't just tell me what you want. It takes both, right? It takes both. Emily obviously has railroaded him, is obviously incredibly twirling in her own insecurity and controllingness, that she is unable to see how she's coming off or be even listen to anyone, right? That is a whole thing. But at the same time, Kobe has allowed it to happen in such a way, and even like allowed his best friend to say something to his wife or fiance about how she doesn't listen to Kobe when it's like, why would she? He won't. It's a two-way street. And I get that Emily is to blame, but I also feel like Kobe has to fucking say something. I don't know. What you guys started talking about, honey? Well, I mean, I know what that is, but that happened. I don't know. That happened. Kobe lived in China as a black Cameroon. America is nothing compared to that. I live in China and I am black. Okay. So yeah. So I think what you're saying is it was harder. Okay. So I don't want to. So I just want you to elaborate a little bit to make sure that I don't interpret this wrong. But I think what you're saying is that America is easier for him to live in than China because he's black and you know this. And I can understand if that's what you're trying to say, which I think it is. I think that maybe it's the difference that they both were at least foreign there a little bit. Like she's now, like she's white in China, right? When Emily's there, which is easier than him, but like because she was foreign in China, right? Like that's not her place. They were both together, at least in their otherness. And now here in America, she has no otherness and he only has his otherness, which is less otherness than in China, but still enough to feel very isolated and alone. I can't imagine, I can't imagine like the specific kind of racism that you got that people would feel in I don't want to say. I mean, listen, I understand what you're saying. I don't think I have the place to say. I mean, yeah, I've never been to China. I'm sure it's a specific kind of racism that I can't understand. Obviously, in America, there is a specific racism that I somewhat understand just being in America, but still don't quite understand because I'm not black, right? But yeah, no, I mean, I can. They say, it's like, yeah, like I've never been to China, but like yeah, it's I think that a whole thing that people who look different, right? And so black people also like super tall people or blonde people, like there is somewhat fascination that can definitely be like obsessed with aesthetics that can make someone feel weird. I mean, we can't pretend that Kobe is lost in America or has a language barrier. He doesn't. He chose Emily. He can't pretend to be a patriarch when he's not. Woo! Yeah. Yes. You know, it's interesting because I think I'm going to say this. True alpha males, true dominant males, if you are naturally that, it would be very difficult to be in a situation that Kobe finds himself in now. It wouldn't have progressed the way it did. But it has progressed because of a certain amount of passiveness or laziness or submissiveness that Kobe has given off, coupled with an aggressive, violent, controlling nature from Emily. For a dominant man, that nature would have brought up problems right away. There might have already been dealt with. But what had happened was Kobe, honey, like laid back, right? And now he's trying to remedy that. And his desire to have his best friend temperature do it isn't effective. What's effective is to have a conversation in the horse situation now where Kobe lays out what he needs. What he needs. in the same way that Emily does. She wants to be around her family to raise her kids while he doesn't have a green card and therefore he can't work. It's what she says. Why he doesn't then contend with what he wants and what he needs in a expressive, authoritative, knowledgeable way is some of the work that he has to do. Because no one can take your power away. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, Emily, 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 poor Kobe, poor Kobe, Kobe, poor Kobe, for infantum ad infinitum, infinity. That's what I'm trying to say. There was like a Latin phrase I was trying to like say. Why would I? This whole argument is who is the man of the house, and if he's the man of the house, then honey, show me. Yay! You agree with me too. Emily sucks for many reasons, but Kobe is a submissive guy. He is only acting up because of temperature, and he acts up when he feels like other people may judge him. I agree with you. There's a whole you could have a whole other argument where you're like, does he even want this? Maybe he does want a woman to like tell him what to do and tell him. I mean, there is a certain ease for a lot of men who are lazy and or submissive to be with an Emily, honey. How easy it is to just be told to do what you want. Just sit there, go get the lasagna. Honey, real G's move in silence like lasagna. And he is silent, this one. Like we always say, you can't patriarch without patriarchy money. Yes, I agree with you. But also, it is the money, but it also is a certain energy. It is a certain masculine energy. If you are talking about cisgender or heterosexual relationships or whatever in traditional situations like we are, it is the energy of, I also am here present, making decisions. I know what I want. And, it is the thing of this. I would like a man that knows what he wants and goes after it. I would also, if I'm going to be in a sexual, romantic relationship with him, I would like to be something that this man wants. Right? Who wants to be with someone who doesn't want you? I want to be with someone who wants to be with me, and I want to be with someone who goes after what he wants. Not just me, the things in this person's life. You want to be with someone who can make decisions, who sets their sights on goals, and who has the security and confidence that he, or if you can put in whatever you want, I'm talking about me, that he can ascertain those goals, he can get what he wants, not all the time. And there's a certain mindset of the things that don't work out are still opportunities. But you go after what you want because at some point you'll get things. Jobs, careers, opportunities, relationships, whatever it is. It's not hot to be with someone who's just sort of Peter Panning through life, waiting, hoping for something to fall at his lap, whose only desire is to wait underneath the tree with the most low-hanging, overripe fruit for one to pounce on him so he can just. It's hotter for the person to find the piece of fruit that they deem best and to reach for it. Maybe it requires standing on tippy toes. Maybe it requires a little bit of a climb. But upon the assertion of such fruit, the enjoyment of having gotten something that you wanted and felt a little hard to get, arguably, I think, energetically bodes well. Bodes well. Yeah, I can understand. You can't fit in here. You will always be foreign or other. As long as you don't look Chinese, your face will be some sort of different treatment, good or bad. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I agree. But like, can you imagine? Yeah, like I'm imagining that, like, yeah, like in bigger cities, there's obviously more diversity of what you can see. But yeah, I'm sure to be a big black guy walking into like people's homes or people's like small shops, I'm sure there's a lot of like, oh, hi, and I'm hoping that the change of behavior isn't always so negative. I'm hoping that maybe some of it was more like curiosity and just somewhat, maybe even slight excitement of someone different. I don't know, my love. Um, perhaps Kobe is an alpha male, but isn't being his authentic self because he has no money, no power, and no sense of a path yet to develop his authority. If you are an alpha male, I think that that energy is there. You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing, Kobe, to his mindset, did bring money. He brought $4,000. Now, I'm gonna tell you this right now. We know that that's not a lot of money, but he didn't know that. Kobe turned his back on his estranged father's royal connections to the Cameroonian Sultancy. Kobe holds the Cameroonian equivalent of an international, God, these words, baccalaureate, graduates high school at 12 and 13 years old. Kobe gets him automatic admission to Cameroonian Institution of Higher Learning. He also has an international certificate for teaching English. Okay, God bless. What do you want from him? Do you think? I mean, am I being a little harsh? Do you think that that he is now realizing he has to step into his dominant role and he didn't quite understand it? To me, it's like if you are that, you are that. I think truly that I think that's true. There is an energy that drives through people that if you are activos, if you are dominant, if you are alpha, it's a felt thing, right? It's so palpable that I think that Emily would have felt it so early on in the relationship that I don't think the relationship could have escalated the way it is now, if that was the case. Okay, so this conversation is hard again because she's like, no, I want to resolve it right now. And her idea of resolving it is being like, it's not going to happen. It is it's so hard to watch and very interesting how decisive she is and how his desires mean nothing for the overarching picture, which is her comfort. I think Kobe is not super alpha. I think he's reasonable and nice. I agree with you. I agree with you. Reasonable is a great word. I think he's nice too. No alpha male gets with an Emily. Sorry. I agree with you. I agree. Now, here's the thing. That's what I want to know. Like, that's what it is, right? What it is that we don't know what Emily was like in China. And there could have been a lot of different things there. They were together alone, and there was a vacation bayness, right? And like we see in 90 Day Vacation Bay, which is, Love in Paradise, people are different when they're out and about and different when they're home. So I will see. I will see. Temperature over, he seems to talk a lot, but no action. Well, what's he going to actually do? Oh, you mean like what he has to show for it? Well, we don't know. I love that I came back and you're still here. Yay. God, 2 hours. My throat hurts. I'm completely out of coffee. Oh, my loves. I can't believe it. Okay. No, I've got through the whole episode. That's it. We will see. We will see what happens. But, we are almost done with this season. So much so that, yeah, I think that we're going to start to get some of the outside drama social media drops, where someone, I think, And yeah, like I think that you had said, and I haven't done enough research, if there have been drops of Muhammad's texts from girlfriends or whatever. Um, hi. Um, so yeah, I think that we're gonna start to get some like loosey goose drips of gossipy intel as we get into the tell-alls and stuff. Always what happens. As people have done their due diligence on the internet, trying to find out as much as they can about people. And as people from different countries on social media realize that people are getting famous in America off of television for the first time, they'll start to release whatever they can to be part of the fray. And there's definitely enough internet sleuths and internet bloggers to like amplify whatever drama for likes. So I'm here. I'm here with a magnifying glass, honey. And if that's the case, maybe I'll have to do a live and we'll have to do a little cast controversy. So if you have any such intel, um, please at me. Actually, can you just go to, well, okay, my favorite way is just for you to go to Vanity Fair and just post in that, A, because I'll see it, and then also B, people will see it, not just me, and people will then share more information on what they have. So it's like I get a little bit of a group effort in my research. So yeah, you know that. I have a private Facebook group. It's called Vanity Fair. It's very easy to join. Basically, they ask you one question, which is like, why are you here? And as long as you say the words Chris or YouTube or 90 Day Fiance, I know that you aren't just a bananas person. I will let you in. Yeah, so that is, I would like to know more. I'm going to have to deep dive for that. Have you seen 90 Day Diaries, an entire episode on Angela's teeth? No, I refuse to. I have life. I'm so sorry. That's not a mean. I can't. Have you seen Emily after weight loss? She is much prettier, but you can't drop that personality as fast as weight, in my opinion. No, I haven't, but I'm so happy for her because I think that that was something that she was felt somewhat insecure about. And you know, yeah, it's hard to get. It's hard to get a bunch of weight put on you and a baby, and then also like doing with the baby, get it off. God bless it. She, if she feels better. I love you guys so much. Okay, well, yeah, so I will do that. That's on the docket. Thank you so much for like having given me all the greatest time, energy, engagement, conversation, and comments that you have for the past 2 hours and 7 minutes here. I'm sorry that it took me until Thursday to talk about this episode, but it wasn't through a lack of other content, as as I bookended this conversation with. Docu-Sweeties is live, which is the podcast Wa and I have released. All the audio of the podcast we've released is 6 episodes of the Love in Paradise season 2 that we are following on Discovery Plus, which is very good. I'm not just saying that. It's a very good season. It's very fun. A lot of fun characters. Daniela, Johan, and Carlos and Valentine. And I mean, like, Danielle and Amber, and there's a lot. So all of them, 5 episodes, docu-sweeties on where you listen to podcasts, Apple, Spotify, Google, at least one is up, Amazon. What we totally need is people to obviously download and subscribe to the podcast, but review them. Reviews are a whole thing. So that exists. That's all free. If you would like to see our streams of Wa and I talking about this, all of those exist in a separate platform, which is Patreon/DocuSweeties, where we are putting up content for $10 a month. My nose has been like just dripping. Other than that, I'm so thankful that you guys have here. Thank you so much for like spending some time with me. If you want to follow me on Instagram and Twitter, I am at Chris L. Farah. The L is for lots of snot coming out of my nose. No, I don't know. And I already mentioned Vanity Fair, which is a private Facebook group, which you're welcome to join. I post before I go live. So that's like the best way to know when I'm going to go live. And I really want to see what's happening with some of the other drama. So hopefully I can bust out something else for you guys soon with a little receipts for you. I don't know. We're going to take our breath, honey, and then we're going to let ourselves go and enjoy the rest of our week. What does that sound like to you? You know, I love you all so much. Let's do it. We're going to blow out all the BS. We're going to take a real good breath in, but let's blow it all out. I like the idea of blowing out. Maybe visualize blowing off dust off of the pane of glass that you look through, that we all look through to see the world. So take this breath to blow out all the dust off of your window, cleaning it so that when you look through it, you see an accurate perception of the world. Deep cleansing breath in. Blow out all the dirt. You know, that's what it is. We are all perceiving our view of the world colored by our past. And so everything that comes out of our mouths and the people that we interact with mouths are colored by such a pane of glass. And the knowledge of that and the understanding and empathy from it, I think, if remembered, can aid in our own reactivity to what they're saying and what we see. One, and then to have the added maturity and knowledge that what we see currently also is colored by our own perception, and to have some sort of seeing that, even if you can't figure out how to change your emotional response, but the knowledge that it can be different than what we're experiencing because of who we are, can help our own detachment from suffering. That shit's hard. And all I hope for me and all I hope for you is that we grow in this knowledge before it becomes time for us to understand our mortality. Because that's a lot to take in. It would be foolish to think that someone could do it all. And from that understanding, from like seeing maybe what Patrick's mom maybe has to deal with is why we're seeing what we saw. Remember that when other people are not on the same page as you and you can't quite remedy it. And I'll remember that too. Everything I'm saying to you is me saying it so that I hear it. And then I feel some sort of comfort or ease from that. All right, my loves, that's it. That's all I have for you. That is it. So again, thank you again for being here. Please hit up DocuSwitties, the free feed, which is the podcast, and or if you'd like more content, Patreon exists for you. I truly appreciate your time and energy here. Thank you for letting me spout for 2 hours and 13 minutes. I love you, love you, love you. Thanks. And my mods, thanks. And all of you, thanks. You're the best. All right. Have a good week. Take care of yourselves and one another. Stand up for what you believe and make art whatever way you can. Listen to Fiona Apple, who, by the way, Billie Eilish says that Fiona Apple is one of her greatest inspirations. So everything's connected, my loves. Everything is connected.